back to another episode of Point of View, where it's a different angle. So today we have Nick with us. Nick, how are you?
Very well, thanks.
Thanks. We're so glad to have you on in our studio today. So, what's your different angle that you look into?
Well, my different angle is that technology keeps taking us forward. But my angle is that as a record collector, we've actually turned technology around. We've brought it back. So instead of us going away from technology and never returning to it because it's old and unfashionable, records have completely defeated technology, which is a great thing.
Is it the same record that we have seen before, or is it just a new sort of technology, looks like a record or sounds like a record?
No, it's vinyl records. That's really the thing. Vinyl really came into being around about the turn of the 20th century. Vinyl began, but of course they were bigger and heavier and they got lighter. But records are the same today as they were then. Of course, the production is much better than it was, and it's improved all through time. The recording of music and the mixing and how many different channels of sound you could incorporate into music, that's all changed. But actually, it's the same thing. And, you know, I think what's magic about vinyl is that it's warm. People realized that technology was cold. Everything was overproduced. Anyone could sing. Anyone could make a record. Whereas in the old days, in a record, you hear a band in the studio and you hear them kind of evolving in front of you. You feel like you're there.
Yeah. I think also there was a major change came because of the storage and portability of it and how you carry it around. So, do you think that was a major issue, or was it something else?
No, it was an issue because effectively what happened is that people wanted convenience. You know, for example, Walkmans came along, and then mini CD players and CD. And so it was easy to move things around. And records, you needed an amplifier, a record player, and speakers. But I think for home entertainment, when you're sitting down at home with a bunch of friends, nothing beats records because they're physical. You can see them, and they have pictures, and you can open them, and each album is a story. And so I think that's what people are realizing. Like books, they're going back to books for that reason.
Okay, that sounds great. So I've got a big question for you. So as it's coming back, do you think it's going to take over, or is it going to go away soon?
No, it's been away and it's come back. And record sales now outstrip CDs. I mean, it can't outstrip downloads because downloads are cheap, but it's CDs, they're going out now. And record sales every year have been growing for the last 10 years. It's now into the many hundreds of millions a year, plus all the second-hand records. Second-hand records are a huge business. If you look, there's a site called Discogs, and if you look on there, there are records singles worth thousands of dollars, many thousands of dollars, because they're rare, they're original. It's like works of art. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like having a Rembrandt or a Van Gogh. Yeah. You can't reprint it. It's the one that was made at the time, and there's something special about that. People want to own history, and records are becoming what art has become, a big business.
And CDs, when it came out, it was very sensitive and scratches on that.
That was the other thing.
How did that work with the records?
Well, records are quite strong. They're quite robust. I've got records that are 70 years old. And when I've bought some of them, they've been in a bit of a mess. And you listen to them and the scratches and noise, and you think, oh no. And then a friend of mine has a record cleaner, and you put alcohol on it, and you spin it through, and it comes up and it gets rid of 80-90% of the noise, and it sounds like a new record. So they're very resilient. Even though they're quite fragile, they're actually incredibly tough, which I think is a thing that CDs are not.
Okay, that's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing all that.
You're welcome.
Viewer, it's been a great time with Nick today. Maybe we'll see you next week again. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.